All right, here with Lydia Co, shooting 65, 66. Here you are, the day two leader. Just take me through what was working so well today.
Yeah, I think I stayed really patient out there today. Obviously, not bogeying the first was a better start than yesterday, but with the wind direction being pretty similar and the strength being similar, I felt like I already knew going into the day that it could be tricky. But at the same time, because I played really solid in the back nine, I knew that if I did make any mistakes, there were birdieable holes coming in. So that's kind of the goal for me this week is not let one hole or one shot phase me. This is the last tournament of the season. It's my 9th year on tour, so I want to finish the season well and also just want to finish it without any regrets. Just playing really freely out there, and I think it's a big key for me.
You said over there with Golf Channel, playing more freely and what that takes for you and what that means for you. What does that mean for you?
I think when I play freely, I'm not being tentative. I'm not controlling, how this shot is gonna go. I think that way it's just a little bit stress free. And if I do miss it, hey, like I'm gonna miss one here and there. So it's just a better place for me to be at. And obviously, when the nerves kick in, that bit is a lot harder. But I think when I was struggling, I got more and more tentative and trying to control the ball and trying to make it work. But sometimes all I can do is just put an aggressive swing, and if it goes where I want it to go, that's great. If not, I just have to deal with the next shot. So I think I feel like I've been doing a better job of that this year, and it's a progress for me. Sometimes if I don't have good weeks, that kind of subconscious kicks in. But if I do better at that, I feel like the other things are going to take care of itself.
All right, Steve?
Does confidence with your putter allow you to swing more freely?
I think when during the times when I wasn't hitting as good, my short game improved. So it's good and bad. But I don't feel like I'm the best putter in the world. I feel like there's so much room for improvement, and I'm just like anybody. Like everybody like talks about the stats and everything, but I know a bunch of players that I would say are better putters than me. So when I'm out there, I'm just trying to put a good read on it and have the right speed. And I think that's why it's super important to trust my, speed work and training prior to going out there. And, when I am putting well, I just know that, hey, I can make up and down from here and there. But, at the same time, I don't want to put too much stress on it, because then that just puts a lot of pressure, and then it's like a revolving circle of like pressure over pressure over pressure, and that's not where I want to be. But I think when your short game is when I do feel more confident in my short game, that makes me a little bit more aggressive, maybe go at pins a little bit more, just so that if I am short-sided or just off the green, it won't be a difficult up and down.
One of the things that won't show up in the stats is the fact that you hit so many shots either pin high or left it in the right location so that you had a very easy putt or an easy up and down. How do you do that?
We all just have those days. Some days I feel like I hit my number and I'm not even close, and some days I don't, I just miss it and it's like good. So it's just, I feel like a lot of it is sometimes your condition, and some of it is luck, especially when it's windy out there. Sometimes it picks up and you hit a great shot and you've got a 40-footer, and sometimes it just lays down as well. So it's just getting the right combination and also like using wind to your favor. I still haven't learned how to do that yet, but I think it's about not fighting it and just playing with the conditions and with what's in front of me. And I think that way it's more of like solve an equation and not trying to fight that problem.
Yeah, and one more. We talked before about the competition out here having improved over the years. Are you better now than when you were number one in the world?
I hope so. I hope so, because it's 7 years from then. But my mom does joke to me at times. She's like, "You played so much better when you're like 15." I was like, "Thanks, Mom." It's like, okay, like what am I meant to do with that information? But I don't know about better. I do know that I'm more experienced now. Then I just, like me playing as an amateur on the LPGA, I wanted to make the cut. And it was such a cool experience to play alongside these ladies that I'd watched on TV, or I'd open the golf magazine and they were like right there. So it was, I think, a very different perspective. And, I played less than like a full schedule. So it's just different. But I do feel a little bit experienced, wiser. I don't know about that either. But I am playing differently. I hit it a little bit further than then. I'm sure there were parts then when I was younger, even in 2015, that I was better at, but also some parts that I have improved over that times. But it's just trying to bring it all together. But I think everybody has improved, or it's hard to even keep your card because the level of play is just so good, and to win, that's just like to a whole new level. So yeah, I do hope I'm better, and I do hope my mom's joking when she says I played better when I was 15. Yeah.
You have such beautiful touch and imagination and creativity around the greens. Is most of that innate, or is there something that you did when you were really, really small that you think set the stage for that?
I think I think I just got used to it and like got used to the environment. When I first came over to Florida from New Zealand, I'd never heard of Bermuda before. Like I came and I was flubbing pretty much every chip shot, and I was like, "What grass is this?" It was like a foreign language, and I think the great thing about our tour is that we play at so many different countries, so many different cities, and we go from Bermuda to Paspalum to Rye and Bent and so many like different grasses I can't even name. But that has helped me improve, I think, and like become more creative, because what the kind of shot that I hit here might necessarily not be the shot that I hit in LA. So it's just kind of adjusting, and I think that's why, some of the players that have played on tour for like 10, 20 years, like they hit some shots and they're just that experience is kind of like the 15th club. And I think that's what happens naturally over time. I don't think anyone is perfect when they first come on tour, but I think you just have to adjust, and that's the tricky thing about golf. Like we have to play all 14 clubs really well, and we have to play all different golf courses and different conditions really well, and that's why to bring it all together in that 1 week, it doesn't come very often. But I'm still learning to become more creative. I know that there is like a lot of room for me to do that. I most of the time chip with only 2 clubs, and I would like to become more creative where I could hit like a 9 iron, or I've seen some girls off the green that hit like their hybrid, up and over slopes. So I want to improve and kind of have that, so that when the circumstances come, I feel comfortable to have another shot and not just be one way. It's my 59 and 54, so my Sandwich and Lumbridge, yeah.
Lydia, I don't know whether you had much chance to look at it before the round started, but the commissioner released the schedule for next year, and the biggest part on there is the total purse is over $100 million for next year. And when you hear that number, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm one of the player directors, so I got a sneak peek before everyone. But when we like sit in the board meeting and like just everybody that's involved with the tour, it's like it was super cool. Like when I first saw it, and how it was gonna hit over 100. I think it was record setting with like 92 or 93 million this year. So just for it to keep improving, it just shows like one, like how much our partners believe in us, and two, also the level of play on the LPGA, and that's why people want to support us. And we have so many bigger events that have been on our season calendar for a long time that has continued to grow, new events, and just with the majors, also with CME, like elevating the championships. It's really cool to see, and I obviously haven't been like on tour for a really, really long time, but in my 9 years to see how much the tour is growing and how much opportunity all of us players are getting, and I think it's great for not only us that are playing right now, but for the future generations. And I feel like the LPGA Tour is making a stance on not women's golf, but just in women's sport and how everybody should see female athletes.
All right, that will do it. Thank you so much, Lydia.
Thank you.